Hey guys, welcome back to Sweet and Sour Soccer with me, James, and Scott. Guys, while I've got you here, please just hit that like button right now. It takes half a second for you, but it really does mean a lot to us. And if you are watching a few videos quite regularly, hit the subscribe button because we've got a lot of good content coming out and regular content, which I think you'll really enjoy. Um, Moving on to today's game. It's another bore fest. I might not even watch the next game, and I'm being genuinely serious. I'm sick of it. I genuinely am. 0-0 against Aston Villa. A game of two halves. Sick of saying it. They could have. I mean, their first shot on target came in the 93rd minute. Let's not get carried away with Villa. They didn't pose much. They hit the bar from 25 yards, and they also hit the woodwork again. But it's just another shit game.
Yeah, it's gone past the stage. You've just said first half we were terrible, second half we improved, and I think the commentators, they alluded to it. They were like, "What is it? What is it? Is it just luck?" I mean, 36% of our goals, wasn't it? The stat has come in the first half since we've been promoted. It's a mindset. At the end of the day, we don't score in the first half because it's a mindset, and Nuno can talk about changes we make and ways that we might look to create more in the first half, but the problem is this is a mindset now that, like, the players have, it's been built into our way for 3 years. We spend the whole of the first half stabilising, and then we decide to have a go with the second half. The only positive I can say is we came out in the second half and we actually had a good go at them for the full 45 and not the last half an hour.
Yeah, very true. Some people are saying it's a fair result. Some people are saying that Wolves just deserved it. I think a draw is fair.
Same.
If I was going to say someone deserved to win, and it would only be by a few percent, it would be us because we did create some good chances. Martinez made a few good saves. As I say, Patricio made that save at the end in the 93rd minute. So, apart from a shot outside the box that hits the crossbar, if anyone was going to edge it, it would be us. But I can't keep watching this. I don't know what our game plan is. I said it in the group. Maybe I just don't know much about football. Maybe I can't break down the way that a team plays. But I don't know who we are. I don't know what we're trying to do. There's only so many times we can say Jimenez is a big miss. I mean, yeah, we're missing Bowley. Bowley doesn't dictate the way we play, and if a centre back does, then we're in bigger trouble than I thought. But it's not like Jimenez has been out for 2-3 weeks. What are we doing? Did you understand the game plan today? Maybe you can inform me. I'm not being deliberately dumb. I don't know.
I think this is one a lot of people have been saying. We've lost our identity. I don't know who we are anymore. I don't know. I don't really know what our game plan is. I hate to say it, I think our game plan now is to try and get a 0-0, and let's just hope that we actually get a goal. It's almost like luck of the draw. That's what I'd call it. Because I feel like especially in these type of games where we're playing pretty even teams, it's just a 50-50, isn't it? Like, are they going to be the ones to get the goal, or are we just going to luckily get a goal? Yeah, it's an interesting one, isn't it? I don't really know what our identity is anymore.
Our two best chances come from both centre backs as well. Again, just nothing up front.
Same for Villa, though, wasn't it, today? I mean,
well, yeah. Apart from that Watkins shit, it's a game of defenders today.
Let's talk about the first half. I mean, obviously, we started poorly. We started terribly, didn't we?
There's no point saying that because that'll be the same for the next 3 months.
Yeah, of course.
We may as well not talk about the first 15 minutes in games. It's a waste of everyone's time.
I mean, look, in the first 15 minutes, what did happen? I think Donk got caught out about 3 or 4 times out of position. It's hard to even talk about the defenders fully in the second half because they didn't have much to do, so you have to base it on the first half. Donk got caught out. In the first half, Cody got turned. Way too easily. It was the Watkins chance, wasn't it? He ended up trying to square it to Traore, obviously Bertrand Traore, and it didn't come off. I think
Johnny got a really good interception, and that's a goal if Johnny's not there. So
but the way Cody got turned there was well too easy. It was way too easy for me. And you think about it in general. why are we not advancing more forward? For me, there's your answer. The centre backs. When we say centre backs loosely, because if you're playing them in a back four, none of them are back four type defenders. If we ever want to switch to a back four, none of them can play in that position, and that includes Cody. You've got to put sentiment aside. He's not a back four type of player. He gets caught out too often, and that's in a back five. I mean, he didn't have a bad game, but that Watkins one, for me, that happens quite a few times to Cody. I think there was another time in the second half he got caught out a bit, and the second defender helped him out. So the first half for me, all it showed is why we can't commit too many men forward at the moment, and why we're playing in a back five, because we just don't have any. And look, on a bit of a rant here, but we've not signed a defender since going up. I mean, you could argue we signed Bolly on a loan. But, I mean, I'm talking about a centre-back here. We have not signed a centre-back since coming up. What's that about? Like, what is it about? Honestly, that's all I have to say about the first half. It just showed why we're not attacking more and why we're not playing a back four, because of the defence.
I mean, we have been known for being a very good defensive team since we've been promoted. I mean, you've got to think, what could Nuno do in terms of goals conceded and clean sheets throughout a season if he was given a top centre back and maybe a good backup centre back as well? We can't.
Here's a question for you though: is it that big of achievement when, for the first 45 minutes especially, we play with 10 men behind the ball? Is it that big of achievement not to concede?
It's the only way we don't concede. We don't concede.
Yeah, that's my point, isn't it? Yeah,
I mean, he can only work with what he's got, and we were talking in the group. We need to start spending 30-40 million on a defender. We can't just keep converting these players that play 3 or 4 different positions. Nuno has to be back in the summer, and if they don't, I think the writing's on the wall for him. I think if it gets to November, December, and we're not doing well, I think he'll be shipped out. We can keep spending money on wing forwards and wing backs, but we need to toughen up in the centre back. It's just not good enough anymore. And the problem is, because Nuno obviously doesn't trust them, because we do play with 10 men behind the ball, it stops us being able to actually play football out. And if you notice, every attack we have, there's only 2 or 3 players in any position to affect the game going forward, because they're all still trying to make their way up the field. So
it says it all, doesn't it? When Neto beats 3 players and he's still got another 3 to take on.
Yeah, and the way he's going, he normally beats all of them. But yeah. I mean, there's not much more we can say about the game, to be honest. I mean, we may as well just dive into the player ratings, because we'll just end up talking about what Wolves need to do in the summer. Otherwise,
yeah, of course.
Rui,
not a lot to say. I gave him a 7. The save at the end pushed him up marginally. Obviously didn't have a lot to do. I mean, 2 of them hit the crossbar, so didn't have an awful lot to do. But yeah, a good save at the end. Not too much else to say.
I agree. I think the one with the Watkins chance when he hits the bar, I think if you look at it, I think if it was going to go in, I think his hand would have got to it. So you could say he's done well there. But yeah, I'll give him a 7. When he was called upon, he was good. Move on to Semedo. Obviously playing right wing back today. Obviously not as right wing forward against City. Not brilliant today. Didn't offer much going forward. Got caught out quite a few times in that first 15-20 minutes. Towards the end, they won that corner. It was a corner where Mings goes down and eventually comes off.
Yeah.
I forget who took the throw in. I can't remember who it was. But he's talking to someone and he's got his back to the throwing taker, and then they counter and get the corner. And again, switching off at the wrong time. And if they'd have scored off that, Semedo is highly culpable for that goal being conceded. So I'll give him a 5.
Okay, I mean, I gave him a 6. I think I didn't notice that about the throw at the end, I must admit. But yeah, looked shaky the first 20 minutes. He just has shaky moments, doesn't he, Semedo? Sometimes he looks a really top player, but what he's got to get out of his game is those moments where he looks like a League One player.
I think it's just because he's come from Spain. Let's be real. Sheffield United would be in the top 12 in Spain. It's a poor league. You take out Barcelona, Madrid, and Atletico. In that league, you can't afford to switch off against 60% of the teams. And, you can't do it in this league. And I think he'll learn that.
Yeah, definitely not one to go too hard on because I think he's improving massively from the start of the season. Spoke about himself, not really had, he suffered a bit by not having that fan atmosphere as well. So that's just another thing to bear in mind. Let's move on to Dendonka. I've given him a 5.
Yeah, I second that. I mean,
really poor first half. I don't want to keep repeating myself. All I will say is he's clearly not a centre back, and that centre back position needs addressing. And might still have a space in the midfield, but yeah, that's all I have to say about Dunk.
Yeah, I agree with that. I'll give him a 5 as well. Cody, for me, best of the centre backs today. Apart from Neto, he could probably be our best outfield player. He had that chance. He's done the hard work, hasn't he? He's done the hard work, and he just... It's a great save from Emi Martinez. Did he get man of the match? I think he might have.
Probably deserves it, doesn't he, Martinez?
I think he got man of the match, which, says it all. If any team was going to go on and win it, it would have been us. But apart from in the first half, I know he did get turned a few times. The problem is no player really was more than a 6 or 7 today. Maybe one who we'll come on to, but hits the post. He could have had 2 goals today. So I'm going to give him a 6. I think he wasn't... if I was going to rate his defending... maybe a 5, 4, because he still did do Connor Cody things, won headers, got blocks in. We know he can't turn. We know he's not quick, but in their box, he created the best chances. So I'll go for a 6.
Yeah, I'll go for a 6 as well. And yeah, literally just everything you've mentioned. I think we saw him get turned a couple of times. He did other things good, getting the blocks in. Looked more promising attackingly than he did defensively today, so I've also given him a 6. Moving on to Seiss, I've also gone for a 6. He did all right defensively, but I don't think we want to speak about him defensively, do we?
What a clearance! What a clearance!
What a clearance! Yeah, I almost feel. I feel sorry for him in a way because he's had to react really quickly. He's just thrown a foot out, and unfortunately,
and it's his weaker foot. I think it was his right foot, wasn't it?
He's just had to throw anything at it, and somehow it's managed to go over, and you can't really. I don't think you can blame him for that. I think he's had to react that quickly. He's just thrown anything he can at it, and somehow the probably 0.5% that flies over the bar it has. So yeah, I've given him a 6.
Didn't have a great first 15, 20 minutes like most people defensively, but yeah, I mean, he was in the right place at the right times, but oh God, yeah, you just think if he'd have got just an inch more boot on it, it probably flies in the back of the net. But yeah, I'm happy with his performance. Johnny, I'm also going to give him a 6 as well because of that interception in the first half, that Traore chance. He just reads the game well. He's not the quickest, but he reads the game really, really well. Didn't have much going forward, but that's never really been a staple of his game. So we can't expect him to turn into Roberto Carlos all of a sudden, So I think he was okay. I think he was, again, a Johnny performance. I'm going to go for a 6.
Yeah, I've also gone for a 6, as you say. It was not his most amazing performance. It was just all right, wasn't it, with Johnny? Just a solid Johnny performance. Let's move on to the midfield. I'll start with Matinho. I've given him a 5 today.
I mean, to be honest, we can just do the same thing we've done for most weeks. Just I'll give them both a blanket 5.
Really? Okay, see, we disagree massively here then.
Oh, you think never is? Oh, I don't know which way you're going to go with this.
Really? Wow. Okay. Look, let me just talk about Matinho quickly then. Matinho, I thought he didn't have a good game at all.
Who did you give a 5 to? Neves?
No, Matinho.
Oh, so do you think Neves... I'm trying to think what you're going to give Neves. Are you going to...
Oh, wait. Keep watching for half a minute more, guys. No, you're supposed to watch to the end. We're only joking with that. Anyway, but Matinho, yeah. I thought he had to be honest...
Sloppy today.
Sloppy today going forward. he had that chance, didn't he, in the first half where he tried to do a fancy flick 25 yards out, if you remember. It
Yeah,
come to him
it
in lots of
wasn't
space. He was thinking, this is
just
exactly what we're missing. We're missing, that's the attackingly, we're missing that kind of player 25 yards out whose eyes light up and go for goal and actually do something with it on
he
top
took a
of.
few risks. So I thought he tried to play a few balls over the top in the first half to Semedo and
Yeah, he
Neto.
did try
It
to
didn't come
create.
off.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know, I think a five's okay for Martinho. I don't think many people would argue today. I mean, there's not much more to say. I don't know which way you're going to go on Neves. Are you giving him a 7 or 3?
I'm giving him an 8. I thought he was
What?
probably man of the match.
Really?
Yeah, honestly, I thought his distribution was brilliant today for me. Everything I've been so critical of him in the past for going backwards. Every
Yeah.
time he got the ball, he looked to go forwards, and he looked to do it. There was so many times where he played the ball forward with intent quickly as well, and we've been missing that a lot for me, especially in the midfield. Sometimes we take too long to choose our pass. I thought he was going forward with intent. We saw him getting into the box. We saw him doing the defensive work well. I think he's someone that's probably going to go really unnoticed. But yeah, for me, he's. Do you know what? Wolves wise, I think Never's probably man of the match. I honestly do. I think he did a
Oh,
really
okay.
underrated role in that midfield today. And everything I've been critical of him for in the past, apart from his striking, which he fired a few over the bar again. Which is why I see him personally as a defensive midfielder, but I think he was really underrated today.
It's an odd one in Neves, isn't it? He's probably got the greatest highlight reel of any defensive midfielder in the history of football. Like no DM has ever scored as many great goals as him. I mean, I think an 8. I don't know. I mean, I personally didn't see the game that way. I don't think he had a bad game. I could be convinced he was a 6.
Not a man of the match performance, though, for you.
No, no. For me, that goes to Neto, and I'll come on to that again. But
Neto will be my second, yeah. But do you know what?
yeah,
I honestly just thought Neves an absolute blinder of a game. And I thought
maybe. I mean, we've never really doubted Neves's defensive work. I mean, this goes without saying. Just because we don't say it every game doesn't mean it doesn't happen. You never accuse Neves and Moutinho of not working hard. That's probably some of the highest working players in the league of any club. They just run the socks off all the time. I don't think he had a game. I'm trying to think of a chance he created, or maybe an attempt.
I think it. I think it was
I
his
think
work further
I
back.
can't give him an 8. I can't give him an 8 for the work he did defensively because if he's going to play that DM role, that is his game. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I didn't see any challenges off the goal line or last ditch efforts. He put his body on the line today. He took a few knocks, which again we've never accused Neves of pulling out of challenges. He's a solid player. I could give him a 6, but I think an 8's generous, personally. Let us know. I mean, this is probably our biggest rating difference since we've been doing this. You've gone for an 8.
Yeah, let us know.
I went for a 5. I could give him a 6. But when I say 5, I just mean he had a decent game. It's not a negative 5. I just want to make that clear. But wow, okay, interesting.
Yeah, I mean, look, let's move on to let's move on to Adamo. I mean, he didn't really come into the game, did he, at all the first half? I don't think he did too bad defensively. In getting back, I think there was just the one time in the first half where he decided not to run back, and maybe I shouldn't be complimenting him for that. But he only did it once in a game. But we've just become expectant of that with Adama. Didn't have his best game, but I don't think he was offered a lot. I mean, you saw the stats in the second half. Most of our attacks were coming from the right, so
probably a reason because Neto is better now than Adama will ever be. Why? If you own 2 horses, one's got 4 legs, one's got 3 legs. You don't.
You're gonna choose the 4.
You don't do it. You're just wasting your fee money. What would you give Adama?
I've had to give him a 5. I wouldn't go too harsh on him. And to be fair, the ball at the back post, remember right at the end, Neves nearly got his head to it on, I think, Target.
Oh, it was a great challenge by Target.
Target does really well. That's what we want to see more of Adama, the more that directness. And do you know what? I think he had a bit more directness the small bit we saw him on the ball today.
Did you really?
I thought so.
Nothing of that. I don't know. Well, maybe I don't know, man.
Go on, I'll let you carry on because I feel like you're not happy with him by the looks of it.
I'm not. I'm not even annoyed. I'm not annoyed with Adama
You're just
anymore.
expectant.
I'm just. do you know what I was thinking during the game? I was thinking, this guy is proper shit, isn't he? I mean, he's proper garbage. And I was thinking, oh, do you know what? I can't say. The last 4 or 5 games, I've actually been saying, do you know what? Adama's been all right today. 5's here, 6's here. I think I gave him a 7 in one game, and I thought he's been doing all right. And then I thought, do you know, he hasn't. He hasn't. All he did was just improve on the bullshit that he's been giving us for the last year. I can't handle this guy anymore. I've never known a player in football history not utilize the ability that he's got. Neto put Adama to shame today.
Oh, he did. Yeah, agreed on that.
The next training session, Nuno has got to say to Adama, "Listen, son, keep your trousers on. Don't wear your shorts. Just sit down, have an hour. Just watch Neto, see what he does, and just here's a pen
Take notes.
Take notes, because again, I feel like over the last 3, because I've been so critical of Adama all season, and in my opinion, rightfully so, and I do get accused of being over the top with him. I think the last few weeks, because he's been slightly better than the trash he's been for a long time, I think I'm one of the most cynical people you'll ever meet. It's hard to change my mind. And even Adama fooled me. He's fooled me for the last month or so, because I was giving him 6s and 7s for bang average performances. And I thought, no, it's too much now. It did nothing. Just, I don't know what to say about Adama's performance today. And again, I think we're going to hear a lot of comments of, wasn't given the service. No, neither was Neto. He picked the ball up 30 yards from our box and he ran until he was 10 yards from their box.
But is that because Neto's too good for us, if we're being honest?
Well, I mean, I think that's evident anyway, but that shouldn't, just because Neto is probably too good for us now, doesn't mean we should settle for Adama's bullshit. I think I'm getting past the point now of just, if Adama has a bang average game, giving him a 6 or a 7 because we're used to Adama being shit. This guy just doesn't offer nothing. And you even said it there in your analysis. You said, we've got to see him putting more balls in the box like he did in the last minute of the game. Well, what did he do for the previous 92 minutes? I've had enough of Adama. I really have. I don't want to see him in the team anymore. I really don't. Because it's just proven. Do you know what? Adama will be so good at a team like United or maybe a Chelsea. We can't afford to, we're not good enough to carry this guy. We're not good enough to be able to just have this type of luxury player.
Because that mentality doesn't even swim at the top teams now, though. I mean, going back to the City game, we were complimenting how much Sterling was coming back to get the ball. Yeah. Even the top wingers, that doesn't swim these days because they can't afford to have that mentality.
I just think if Adama wasn't as quick as he was, people would be understanding just how bad he is a lot quicker than they are. He doesn't offer anything.
I mean, let us know what you guys think about Adama. Again, obviously a little bit of a different opinion between us two there. I didn't, to be honest, I'm not going to say he had a good game. He didn't, but yeah, I'm one of them that says, he probably didn't get the service today. But you know what? I take on all your points. It's made me think: am I giving him good ratings because of what he's doing better than what I expect? You know what I mean? It's one for me to think on. It's a really good point you raised. Are we saying Adama's improving because we're expecting now so little of him, or is he actually improving? I mean, it's one for me to think on.
You can't improve when you've got 0 goals and 0. We have to get past this point now of saying, he's not getting the goals or assists, but he's impacting the game. No, he isn't. His defensive work, he tracks back. No, he doesn't. I think people get caught up in him because, he looks cool. He's muscly. He's the fastest man in the world. He's a bit of an out there player, like a Zlatan or someone like that. Everyone knows who he is. He's probably our superstar, if that makes sense. Ex-Barcelona player. The guy's garbage. Let's just get this out right. We can't afford to have a player who only plays well if he's got Raul there. Yeah. We can't afford this anymore. We just can't. We're carrying him too much.
I mean, look, let's move on to Neto. I think we're just going to praise him massively, aren't we?
Do we just give him 8 and move on?
As we do, yeah. I think let's give him 8. Say he was absolutely brilliant. He carried the team as usual, like we do most weeks, and let's just leave it at that. He's going to be a top player, and he's probably, you know, if
we need to not talk about him so much so that it just
goes under the radar. Yeah.
I saw Jamie Redknapp tweet about him, and he said he's one of his favourite players in the league, the way he moves and the way he carries the ball. And I'm like, no.
I think
starting to tweet about him now.
I think because I think we'll keep him for one more year, and look, at least we've got him on a 5-year contract, so we'll get what we deserve for him. We won't lose him. Jose,
2.
Do you know what? I've given him a 4, if I'm being honest. I don't have too much to say on him because we're just expectant of it. The thing is with Jose, do you know what? The only thing I will say, in the first half, he did hold the ball up well, but apart from that, he does nothing else well, does he? He does nothing else well. And I know you're going to laugh at that because I've given him a 4 because he's held the ball up well, which for our striker is ridiculous. And at the same time, look, I'm going to rate Silva. I've given Silva a 7. And you saw the difference, didn't you, straight away? I just don't get why we're not starting Silva. Why are we not starting him? I mean, he comes on, he runs halfway up the pitch, wins a free kick and creates a chance. Look, Jose, he held the ball up well today, but that's all I can say, which is, I think that's all I've ever said. Mate, that's all I've ever said good about him, that he holds the ball up well. You can't give him a
4 because he's done that. I don't know. So what... We've been Ali Dia'd. That's what's happened here. We've been Ali Dia'd. Do you remember Ali Dia, who Graham Souness signed for Southampton because of a recommendation from, I think it was George Weah.
Oh, okay, yeah. So I know the story now.
Yeah, he came on for like 35 minutes and then got subbed off and never played again. We've just been Ali Dia'd with this guy. He's the worst Premier League player we've ever had. Name me a worse one. And I go back to 2004. Name me a worse Premier League player that we've had.
Eggert Johnson.
Is he worse than this guy? No, let's be serious. Name me a worse Premier League... Put it in the comments. Name me a worse Premier League player that we've had.
So you think Eggert Johnson was better than Jose?
Do you think Eggert Johnson does less in this team than Willian Jose? Not like smashes in 7 or 8 goals. Less. It's impossible. It's impossible. He'd have to get sent off every game to do less than this cunt. I'm not having this anymore. This guy's a 2, and that's only because he didn't give away a penalty or something. Shocking. Did you see the chance in the first half where Moutinho dinked it over the top towards their right-hand side?
Yes,
I think I mentioned it earlier. Did you see where that knob was standing? He was 5 yards offside. So even if he did get if Semedo would have come onto it, he wouldn't have been able to do anything. I'm seeing him standing about 20 yards off their box. Neves or Johnny or Zhao, someone's got the ball, and this prick is pointing in the flank saying, put it over there. That's not your game, Jose. No. Who do you think you are? Drogba? Prime Shevchenko? You're telling me you want Neves to put a ball into the flank? You're going to run 30 yards, take on Konza or Tyrone Mings and put the ball in the back of the net? This guy is useless. All he did today was stand in between Konza and Mings. He did nothing. The chance in the second half where the ball came in and we didn't... I think we won the header, but it came to nothing. This cunt standing in the D. What's he doing? I don't get it. I think we've been Ali Dia'd. I don't know what's happened. This guy scored 4 goals this season for us and Real Sociedad. He's played 1,500 minutes.
Wasn't 2 of them in a cup as well?
One of them was the Europa League, I think. This guy's finished. And this is where I'm going to put it on Nuno, man. I'm Nuno's biggest fan. He's failed today because of not playing Silva. What's Silva got to do? He did more in 10 minutes than Jose's done all game. And I'm not saying that to take the piss. He did.
So in conclusion, you're not a fan of Jose. Let's move on to Nuno. I'm going to give him a 5 today. I don't want to go into too much in on him, to be honest. I don't really want to say too much. To be honest, the one thing I would say though is he said in January the solutions are within. we don't even know what those solutions are because he didn't make a sub until, was it the 76th minute?
Yeah, I mean,
And he made one sub. I'm just,
to
I
be
don't get
honest,
it.
though,
I don't get it.
we've
But
got a draw away at Villa Park.
is it a bad result? So what would you give him? Let's leave the Nuno discussion for another video.
I'm not happy that Silva's not playing.
5.
I think I might give Nuno a 4 today.
4.
Yeah, I'm his biggest fan, but
I want him to start Silva, and I want him to use subs more.
Yeah.
But
is Nuno the greatest manager in the league at halftime team talks because of the way that we just or do we commend him for that, or does he have to take some blame for the way we're starting games now? Because I said in the group, it hasn't just been this season, that we've just been atrocious in first half. Those stats that you see every game about not scoring in first halves, conceding the first goal, they were there last season as well. Let's not forget. It's just that it got masked because we finished 7th again. It can't continue.
I think we've already said, haven't we, at the start of the video, I believe it's something that's now ingrained into us that we don't play in the first half. We just try and get in at a 0-0 and then try and attack the second half.
The players are conscious of it now. The players
I just think it's like subconsciously, it's just ingrained in us. And it's something we've got to break, but I just don't see how. But yeah, let's go into let's maybe talk about Nuno more another time. Let us know what you think, guys, of today. I think there might be a mixture of people quite happy with the result, and feeling really positive about the second half, and then there might be some that just thought we really needed to win that. We missed chances as well, and of course, a terrible first half performance. So I think there's going to be a real mixed bag today, and I think that showed in our ratings as well. They were a bit more different than usual. So yeah, let us know what you guys think. We really want to get some more comments. So yeah, let us know.
Cheers, guys.
Thanks. Cheers, guys. Bye.